Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's having a fabulous day this Monday morning, Monday, September 8th. So I am coming to you remotely. I have several obligations in the rest of the day, and I'm not in my office, but still wanted to do our Facebook Live with you this morning. So um, I hope everybody is, again, having a wonderful day. Let me just, right, I am here just following along on my laptop and making sure that I can see who's all popping in on the Zoom. So I trust everybody had a great Labor Day. We were not in we did not Facebook Zoom on Labor Day. It was a holiday. And we had our Kid Expo on September 6th. It was on Saturday, and we had a great day with that. The weather was wonderful. We had well over 600 individuals come through, and it was a great day for everybody. And certainly appreciate that. Today, November 8th, is actually National Star Trek Day. And so those of you who are Star Trek fans, National Star Trek Day, National Acorn Squash Day. So we're getting into fall, and certainly acorn squash is something that I have made, and it is very good. Uh, National Neither Snow Nor Rain Day, National Salami Day. So those are some of and International Clean Day of Clean Air. So those are our days of today. Now, one of the things that I did want to touch on that we sent out into the media is over the weekend, and the concern with regards to sending in troops to the state of Illinois. And certainly that is a huge issue that I think needs to be addressed. And we're going to talk a little bit about that on today's Coffee with Kiffy. So as those know and don't know, I served 4 years active duty in the United States Marine Corps. Many of you know my son is serving active duty in the Navy. I have many family members and friends that are currently serving in either the Army, National Guard, or on reserve components in the Marine Corps, the Navy, and other reserve components that serve. Individuals serve proudly, and they serve to protect our country. And that is our goal and mission. And so the threat, even if it is just a meme on a social media page, it's still real, and it's still very troubling. And so the fact that the federal government is choosing or talking about or considering to send troops to Chicago, rather than really focusing on the real threats that families are facing today. School shootings are increasing, family safety, well-being. We had the tragedy of the school shooting in Minnesota. Cost of living increases are really hitting people hard, especially our small businesses. I love to go to the farmers markets, and I was talking to one of the vendors there, and they increased their price from, believe it, from $30 to $40, a $10 increase just from the beginning of the season to now. And she was telling me about the struggles of her business right now in these times of high tariffs and uncertainty. Um, so many people, cost of living crisis, and what we're seeing today is really a deterioration of our due process rights, and that's very concerning to me as well. I know that there's a lot of discussion on immigration, and to be quite honest, I am not an immigration lawyer, but I do know that immigration is a civil offense. It's not a criminal offense. It's being treated as a criminal offense. Individuals are here. I've known individuals that were here undocumented. I actually served with individuals that were undocumented. They were United States Marines. They were serving our country, they were not documented, but they loved their country. These are individuals that are here for a better life, and some have been here virtually their whole life. Um, a lot of people in our community can trace back to uh, their family members who came here. My grandfather came here when he was 17. He immigrated to here from Poland. My stepdad came here when he was sick from Prague, Czechoslovakia, and they went through a system, an immigration system that allowed them a path to citizenry, and that's what we need to be focusing on. And it's very concerning, even here, when we have law-abiding individuals showing up for their court cases, their immigration cases, in order to be able to stay here and being apprehended without any due process, without doing anything wrong, without their families even knowing where they are, and then just getting deported for no reason, like going through the immigration process as it is today, going to their court hearings and presenting their case on why they need to seek asylum here in the United States. Individuals such as an Afghan translator who helped U.S. troops who will find horrible situations back in his home country for helping us get apprehended and be slated for deportation because he has a green card, because he is going through the process to get a green card, to stay here, going through the process of asylum seeking, apprehended and slated for to be deported. For his only offense was helping us, helping the United States when we needed him. That's what's happening. And it's traumatizing families. So what we've done on the state, we are focusing, we have prioritized programs that help reduce crime. And crime has been going down. And it is a big issue. And we still need to do all we can. But the way about things that are going on right now at the federal level is just not right. It is not right. So we need to look at what is happening overall and continue to speak out about things and continue to implore our congressional leaders to do something to try to invoke our checks and balances. So when there's talk about deploying the National Guard into Chicago, and it's without the consent of anybody here on the state level, without the consent of the governor, or any kind of legislation or resolution passed by the Illinois General Assembly. And it is technically against federal law. It is eroding our democracy, and that's the biggest thing here. I know individuals want to and have said that it's a distraction. It's a distraction from several other things, but I think at the core, it is an effort to undermine our democracy, the fabric of our democracy, the trust of our democracy. Our democracy is based on trust and laws and following those laws. And the fact that the state of Illinois has to ready themselves to go to court to show that the federal government is sending, if they do send National Guard troops to Illinois without our consent, is really, it's a democratic crisis, regardless of party. It's a democracy crisis. It's being touted under a false sense of security. And there are many things that talk about false senses of security with regards to giving up liberties, and the liberties that are enshrined in our Constitution need to make sure that they are upheld without a doubt, and they're getting eroded. So, our founders, they made it clear that the military must never be used as a political weapon against our own citizens. And I just want to share that when I was on active duty, I was stationed at Camp Pendleton, California. And in 1992, the LA riots broke out, and um, our unit was on alert. We did not get called in. Other units got called in, but this is a single issue. This is a single crisis. And it was a coordinated effort between the governor of California, the Department of Defense, and local law enforcement to address a singular incident, a singular crisis. And that is where the efforts need to be. It needs to be coordinated. It cannot be erratic. It cannot be at the whim of the president. It has to be within the confines of the law. So I do want to address that it is very disappointing to see on an official social media handle of our president of the United States in another AI generated image. And this has been in the news and has been talked about. And I understand that it's most likely posted to generate a response because we are in a shock culture. Everything comes out to get a shock, a response, a click, an immediate reaction. But it's just not right to declare. Number one, it's an act of Congress, so it is still the Department of Defense, regardless of what is going on in the executive branch. Congress passes the law. Congress passed the law to rename it from the Department of War to the Department of Defense. It is still the Department of Defense, even if they are changing the symbolic words on the walls. In law, and law should be upheld, is still the Department of Defense, but it is really truly concerning that this AI generated image um, would really characterize deportations without due process, deportations in such a completely unprofessional and really concerning way. The smell of deportations in the morning. Deportation, and this is what is very concerning is that we have due process. There should not be deportations in the morning. There should be deportations that go through a court process, that goes through due process for individuals that are seeking help. They're seeking amnesty and asylum here in the United States because their hometowns, their home countries are riddled with violence and political persecution and unsafe conditions for families. So this is, my statement on this situation is that a lot of people are very, very hateful to individuals who are here that are not documented. And it's not right. It is not, it's just not who we are as Americans. Individuals that are here undocumented, we need to work on an immigration system that helps people, that is fundamentally works for individuals who want to be here legally, who want to be here in our country as good citizens, and that want to be intertwined in the fabric of our neighborhoods. And there are many people that I know that did that, and they were trying to go through the process, the expensive process of immigration, and they show up to all their court cases, and they put in all the time and effort, and they have a green card, and they go through the process, and eventually having a green card means you can stay here legally. And some people don't have the money to go through the full process of full citizenship, and some people do. But I've worked with individuals who have had green cards. I've worked with individuals who have gone through the whole process. And I've known undocumented immigrants that are here. They've been here most of their life without documentation, and they love hot dogs and they love hamburgers and they love everything about America. So we need to have an immigration system that works, and we don't. And now we have an immigration system that's being abused and causing trauma and undue hardship from the federal government on families that have done what they need to do to protect their families from violence and from persecution and to be here in the United States. Um, Secondly, we also have to have a system that treats people like human beings, and that's not happening either. Um, and that is my fundamental basis that we need to work towards and continue to speak out towards. Because right now we have a broken immigration system. We have an immigration system that's being abused to terrorize people and families and to take mothers and fathers away from children and without due process, without even letting them know where they're at, just snatching them in the middle of the day, which is not right. And then we have a system that is now treating people in subhuman conditions, which is not right either. So, um, so I applaud, the leaders of our state, our governor, and everybody else for standing out and for speaking up. We need to continue to speak up and stand out, even though it's being billed as a distraction or it's being billed as getting Democrats upset. It should not be a political thing. It should not be politicized as a party to treat people with dignity and respect or to look at individuals as human beings and treat them as human beings and individuals, whether they're documented or not. We need to make sure that good people in our community stay in our community, and we have to make sure that safety is a priority. And working with our local law enforcement, making sure that we do reduce crime, continue to reduce crime, and hold people accountable that commit crimes, criminal crimes. Immigration is a civil crime. It's not a criminal crime to want a better life for your family and to try to work within the system that we have that's flawed. So, with that, I am very, very concerned about these deportations completely eliminating the due process rights that are enshrined in our Constitution. Our Constitution is our law of the land, and you have a right to due process of everybody that's living here, a right to liberties, and these rights are inalienable and they're sacred in our Constitution. And the Constitution that I and every individual has or is wearing the uniform of our country took an oath to defend. It's enshrined by the Statue of Liberty, and we need to find our way back there and start holding Congress accountable. We have a checks and balance system. The checks and balance system is the Congress and the executive branch and the judicial branch are supposed to be a checks and balance on all three. They are supposed to be completely independent. When the lines start getting blurred as they are today of a Congress that goes along with the whims of the executive branch, a judicial system that is upholding to the best of their ability in many instances in the federal courts and the appellate courts, and then a silent Supreme Court. That's how you break down a democracy, is when you break down the checks and balances. So we need to continue to hold our congressional leaders accountable, continue to hold them accountable in every state, not just in Illinois, and to make sure that we can return to what the system is supposed to be, an independent legislative branch, just like in the state. It's supposed to be an independent legislative branch, independent of the executive level, and an independent independent judicial. And we're not seeing that. It's all coordinated and it's all coerced, and it's getting to be really scary, folks. And never thought I'd see the day in my lifetime, and I know a lot of people are saying that, where we have a rubber stamp Congress, House and Senate on the national level where individuals are not are very few individuals are exercising their independence as they are enshrined by our founders. So we're going to continue on the state level to address this situation. We and myself, I served with AG Kwame Raoul when he was in the U.S. Senate, and he is doing a great job trying to protect all of us. And it's really disappointing to be picking on individuals who are here. They're not documented. They don't have a lot of money, and to and thankfully through the generosity of many nonprofits and immigration rights organizations, they are able to go to court for them and to find out where they're at. And when individuals are showing up for their court cases and just being arrested and snatched, and nobody knows where they're at, and they don't have their medications, they don't have anything. And in one instance, it was an individual who had lost their green card and was just going to get a replacement green card and got deported to another country. That's not right. In less than 24 hours. If you have a green card, you're allowed in this country. That's just not right. So certainly wanted to address that today. And I thank everybody here for watching. That is pretty much the big news of the week. It's a roller coaster. It is unpredictability. I know a lot of people like unpredictability. Some, not a lot. I don't think a lot of people do, but there's that vocal minority that think that unpredictability is good in government. It's not good in government. Back and forth whiplash with regards to mobilization of troops, with regards to, disrupting these individuals' lives. That's not good government. And again, the bottom line is we need to keep our streets safe. We need to make sure that dangerous people are not allowed to cause crimes. But we also have to recognize that non-dangerous people, everyday people in our communities, people that are just trying to get a better life, are being targeted, and that's not right at all. So other than that, a couple things that I wanted to share. One was a completely different subject. Naperville is looking to, or they have been, is had a great program, honestly, that collects what to do with those old towels, what to do with clothing. I know clothing, people tend to throw them into the trash, and they don't really belong there. So the city of Naperville has a program, a recycling program, and they are going to extend the food and textile recycling program. Following the success, they do keep these things out of the landfills. And since it launched in the late spring, they've seen an average of 12 to 15 cars a day drop off unwanted items, resulting in more than 26,800 pounds of material diverted from landfills. So certainly congratulations to the city of Naperville for embarking on this initiative. And then in our hometown here in Aurora, this is kind of an interesting, for me, I think it's kind of full circle because I used to work with the board called Aurora Downtown. And Aurora Downtown would manage money from a special service area, which a special service area means that the business owners in downtown Aurora agreed to pay an additional property tax. So that the property tax would go to programs that help the downtown and downtown Aurora. Now, under Mayor Irvin, the board decided to dissolve and get merged into this. It's called the Aurora Regional Economic Alliance. So what this alliance did is it combined the Aurora Regional Chamber of Commerce and the economic development arm of the city called Invest Aurora, and the Crowd County African American Chamber of Commerce, along with this small Aurora Downtown group. sometimes when you combine into a big group, you kind of lose a little bit of the focus because then the focus gets a little bit wider. And so there is some momentum to recreate the Aurora downtown group and kind of parcel that off from the larger Aurora Regional Economic Alliance. So I think it's interesting. Because I was with the Aurora Downtown group way back when I was an alderman. I was on the board and we worked really hard to revitalize downtown and efforts have been underway to revitalize downtown. Unfortunately, things are taking a little bit of a step back with the restaurant Lalani closing. And then now it was just announced that Wickwood House is going to be closing in downtown Aurora after 7 years of being down there. So the downtown Aurora area, I do believe, needs to be focused on specifically. And I think that might not be a bad idea to try to segregate that out from because it's a unique niche, and certainly that's something that is being considered. So then other things that are going on, what we are looking at is sharing of license plate camera data. This parlays a little bit to what I said earlier. We do have laws in our state with regards to the data of Illinois license plate camera data and that it is to be used for the purpose of which it was installed, not to be shared with outside entities. Secretary of State Alexi Janulius has uncovered that Illinois license plate camera data has been shared with U.S. Customs and Border Protection and has ordered that access to be shut off. Certainly, we do have laws in this state, and I think that individuals need to know that when we pass laws, when we allow these things to happen, that the data is shared in a very, very narrow way and without a formal court order or some sort of legal reason for this data to be shared. It should not be shared. The Secretary of State, Alexi Janulius, has been auditing the process for automated license plate reader systems, and Motorola Solutions technology has been utilized by the Village of Forest Park's Police Department to give the U.S. Customs and Border Protection access to its data. Motorola has since worked with Forest Park to shut off and disable the data sharing capabilities with other federal agencies pursuant to any legal documentation or court order or subpoena that is presented. We have not been, to the best of my knowledge, that was not presented. Secretary Janulius's office has looked that Flock Safety, operator of the largest automated license plate reader system in the nation, has allowed the Customs and Border Patrol access to Illinois license plate cameras. So certainly that is something that we are looking at and looking at making sure that the laws of Illinois, because we do have states' rights in this nation, that the laws of Illinois are being adhered to by the companies that are operating in Illinois. And that's the way it is. That's the way it's supposed to be under our Constitution. And like I've said multiple times in this podcast, bearing any kind of federal judicial subpoena or federal order to comply with data, they are not to share data contrary to state laws. So that is a lot. Other than that, Taste of Chicago is going on, so I certainly hope that individuals enjoyed that. And there were festivals in September for Mexican Independence Day and a lot of other cultural festivals that I hope people were able to enjoy. And so for the most part, that has been consuming my week with regards to that. But I do wish that individuals uh, are able to enjoy the last bits of summer that they can. I know that it's stressful for individual. I also know friends of mine who have family members who are documented, but are still scared to leave their house, and I truly hope that we can get a result for them. So with that, I am remote, so I just want to say good morning to a couple of folks that have joined us. Good morning, Bonnie and Gay. I hope you're doing well. And Ellen, certainly wonderful to have you guys tune in with regards to um, this time of the morning. So one of the things that's also been on our docket is food pantries. There has been an increase of individuals attending food pantries, and the donations have been down. So if you are able to and want to support the food pantries in the Aurora area, Marie Wilkinson Food Pantry and the Interfaith Food Pantry, they are seeing an increase of individuals in need and a decrease in donations and support. I've gotten a call from some senior centers, not in our area, but in other parts of the state, that are being forced to reduce hours or to close down because of federal funding being cut off. And at our Kid Expo, I was talking to we had the University of Illinois Extension to talk about nutritional aspects, food aspects. They have a really great display on how much sugar is in the things that we drink. They have Gatorade, they have Frappuccinos, they have uh, all the bottles of soda. Unfortunately, their federal program for nutrition has been eliminated. So they were put in the budget back in Lincoln's era, believe it or not, to help educate individuals on how to eat properly, how to live healthier lives, and how to prepare healthy meals. For example, they go and they go to nursing homes, and they did outreach in nursing home. It's the University of Illinois Extension has gotten zeroed out. They will now cease to exist. They've been in this line item, and these programs have been in existence in one shape or form since Abraham Lincoln included them in the budget, and they will be closing down that portion of education to the community. So there are a lot of implications that was passed in the budget bill, and it is law now. And so we are going to be seeing reductions and changes in the landscape of programs that we've used before. So that's been on my desk as well, getting updates on programs that are no longer going to be around, programs that people have grown to be accustomed of, to rely on. And we are doing the best on the state level to address those situations, but we just can't address them all. In addition to the changes that that's going to be happening in the education world and in the cuts from there, just overall, all the federal government cuts that were in the bill. So this is not like this is just it's a serious update, and this is one of the serious updates. These are the things that are coming through my desk that that we are looking at, that we are working on, that we are getting briefed on, that we are certainly concerned with, and things that I think need to be said, even though it is a Monday morning, and I certainly always want to start the Monday week with good news. So I mean, at least it is National Star Wars Day, so we can take that and and run with that. And but it's very serious, and and individuals need to realize that it's not a party issue anymore. It really is an issue of democracy. So we need to really start getting off of social media and really start paying attention to the actual actions of what's going on, and getting it from multiple media sources, not one source, uh, and from academics and individuals that are in this space. So with that, I hope you do have a good week. I hope you do have a good week. I hope everybody is safe, and COVID is still out there. I just ran into somebody. I didn't. I was talking to somebody on the phone who got COVID. So COVID is still out there. Certainly there are some restrictions with regards to the COVID vaccine. We are continuing to look at what the federal government is doing in that space as well. So there's just a lot going on right now. So, but we're working on the state level to work on that. So with that, again, have a great day, um, and be well and be safe. And I will bring you another update next week. So take care, everybody. Thank you for watching.